All right. So our first question, and I think I will direct this at Aveena first. What are some wrong conversation starters?
Like I mentioned earlier, when you are initially meeting someone with a disability, I think it's best to have conversations like where you're from, what do you do for a living. It could even be like how we always compliment the person, the way they dress up. It could be like that, and yeah, and I think once you start that conversation, especially from are you working or are you studying, and automatically the conversation will just go on to know, you would automatically know what is the next question. And from there you can build the conversation.
Thank you. Ernest, how would you answer that question?
Sorry, the question again, please.
The question is, how would someone start a conversation with you?
Or how does
And
someone start a conversation
with you?
with me? As for my case, how does someone start a conversation with me was um, when, how should I say, when they look at me, especially when I'm alone or walking by myself in an unfamiliar area, they will ask, maybe because of my visual impairment, it's quite obvious, they will ask whether do I need help or not, and so far. Then I will start my conversation with them. And in terms of socializing, um, they will just ask like normal about who am I and so on. Am I born blind? Something like this. So for me, it's more to a helping hand, or they just how should I say, more like volunteering due to my obvious condition as a total blind person. Yeah, that's it from me. Thank you.
Do you wish that they, instead of focusing on the fact that you are blind, do you wish that they talk to you about other things?
For me, actually, I don't mind if they talk about either I am blind or other thing. I am okay with anything because I already know the fact I am a blind person. So I just accept it even if people say about my blindness, and I'm okay. I love it if people talk about other things as well. So I'm flexible in this aspect.
Thank you. So today, actually, when I invited both Aveena and Ernest to come and share with us, they are very brave and courageous to be very vulnerable, because they gave permission for us to ask them questions that normally we are shy to ask. Okay, so let's go on with the next question, because suddenly more questions are popping in already. All right, this is interesting. As an employer, what would you advise them? Where should they start from in recruiting and supporting persons with disabilities? Aveena?
So as we all start, it starts with an interview. So it would be best if you could, as much as you can, understand their condition, understand how their condition limits them, and also how the condition is a superpower to them. Because I believe that everybody who's born with a disability has certain encourages, how I would say, certain advantages that we carry as well. So I think it's more about having a casual conversation with them, getting to know them on a personal level. Since it's an interview and you want to know what position would be the best in the company, it would be best to get personal eventually and ask them what is their skill set, what is their strengths, where is their weaknesses, and from there you can, if they say that I would like to be in this position, but I do not have the skill set, you can, if you have the ability to train them, and then see their cooperation, see their efforts, and as you go, you could, assess from there onwards.
That sounds pretty much like what we do for every fresh graduate that joins us, really. Okay, so maybe a little bit of a twist on that question. Since Ernest, you're still a student, but you'll be graduating soon. Somebody asked, this question is for Ernest. What devices should an employer provide you for you to work comfortably?
What devices should the employers provide for me in the workplace? Okay. To answer this question, because actually I'm not so experienced in the workforce, but I think I can try to answer, which is, if possible, I do not know whether is it possible if a company as I know, because every company got their own laptop and desktop and so on, and you have to use the company's laptop in order to work, right? Based on what I saw my dad was doing, because he himself also has a laptop from the company, and every company also has that. So, in my opinion, I feel that it is best for company to install the screen reader software in their company's laptop for us. Maybe need some investment because screen reader like JAWS, actually, for JAWS and screen reader like JAWS needs some amount of investment. So yeah, I think if it is possible, just try to make it for us so that the computer will be more user friendly for us. And even for the, I heard certain companies they also have some mobile phones, which is belong to the company. So I just hope they will make. Because like certain phone like Android, they have talkback, but it's not user friendly. So if possible, since this is work related, I think that better is to provide Apple device for us, because iPhone is more user friendly for the person like me, blind, who is totally blind like me. So, and I think that's it. For some other devices, I can use it, like the note taker and recorder. I believe I can use my own devices that just for the handphone and laptop, because I heard some companies they have their own laptop and their own handphone, which we can use it in our personal use. So I hope that answers the question. Thank you.
Thank you, Ernest. So now, the next question I give to Ernest first. It says that you say you are blind since you are born. So how your imagination work, especially, for example, you are an ardent fan of Manchester United.
How my imagination?
What do you see in your mind when you watch a game of football?
To be honest, when I watch football, before I start to imagine, I will ask someone like my friends or parents to explain to me what is the situation in the screen, like in the football match, how is the environment and how many people are there playing. And after that, I will try to imagine. I'll try to imagine this football match, and this is where my imagination works when I did the filming, where I was enrolled in the filming for this video. Yeah, thank you.
Nice, thank you. So let me just see. There's a lot of questions now, so we won't be able to take all. But the question for both of you, how do you self-motivate yourself every day? Aveena, you want to do that first?
It's a really good question. I'm still finding ways till today. I think self-motivation comes from understanding your purpose, understanding what you want to do in life. And it's not about always having to be active every day, because we have days that you want to just sleep in and do nothing. But I think having a purpose helps all of us have a drive towards what we are working for, towards building better relationships, whether it's family or friends. So I think it starts with having a clear mind on the purpose of your life, purpose of what you want to bring into your life, your dreams, your goals. So I think for me particularly, having a clear understanding of that is my motivation on a daily basis.
Nice, thank you. And Ernest, how do you motivate yourself?
For me, to answer this question, I don't think I have much to say on how I motivate myself, but maybe I can say that I just think that even I'm blind, I just still can do like many things compared to, can do many things like all of you sighted people. So I just think that I can do it, and I just do whatever I can in my daily life. I think that's it. Not much to say, but that is the way that I self-motivate myself. Thank you.
Thank you. Ernest, you're a very positive person, and I can see that in you as well.
Thank you.
There's a question again for Ernest. You have been abroad for exchange program. How would you compare community support and awareness between our local community and those overseas?
Okay, to answer this question, the community support and awareness, I can say that in the United States of America, the community and awareness about people with disability is so much. Theirs and ours is different. Whereby theirs is more inclusive, and they focus a lot of independence. Whereas for here, it's not to say that here is not inclusive, but it's just started to be inclusive. And regarding independence, of course, we can say that Western country and Asia here is totally different. The way the way of perception of independence and so on, due to our cultural differences. I hope this answers the question.
Thank you. Okay, there's a question here, and this is a different angle. What would be your advice to someone who struggles with mental disability but is scared to do something about it? Aveena, would you be able to take that one? What would be your advice to someone who struggles with mental disability but is scared to do something about it?
I think it's best as someone who has been around those with mental disabilities, I have learned on a personal level that it's best to talk to the person that you trust the most first. Share your fears, your insecurities, share your biggest fears for the future, and from that, the person, find a way to find the right treatment with that person, because I understand that doing it on your own, it is very challenging, it is very scary. I'm not going to even the fact that I came on stage today admitting that I have an issue with memories. It was the first time I'm doing this on a stage after 10 years of giving a talk. I myself have pressured myself for the last 10 years to memorize my talk, even though it was physically harming me. I was trying to fit in. So today, for the first time, I stood in front of all of you, telling all of you, owning up to my differences. So I think that only came when I was able to speak about it to the people I trust, which is my family. They gave me the encouragement, the support. So my advice or the best way is to start with sharing it with the person you trust, and then try to build a path from getting the right treatment, finding ways to move along on the days, because I believe that anyone with a mental disability, they view things differently, they do work differently, they communicate differently. So find your own stepping stones and build it from there. Hope that helps.
Thank you. I hope that helps the person that asked that question. Please remember that I do remind myself there are so many different types of disability out there. So a lot of times it's good to understand the specific disability that you are dealing with and find the best answers from there. Okay, take the right steps and be supportive. I think just like everybody else, there are days when we just need someone to be on our corner rooting for us and supporting us, right? So time's up, so I will just answer this very quickly. There's a question to me as a PCO. Is the event industry have a protocol and guideline for inviting disability speakers and delegates? I'll be very honest with you, there is none that I could find, okay? But then as events people, we just need to practice empathy and be very open. And so when I invited Aveena and Ernest for the first time, we are also learning and we're happy to share it with everybody because that's how we move forward as an industry. But I think what Aveena shared was very true. It just starts with empathy. If you have empathy, the rest of it we will find a way, okay? Also, when crafting a program or when you're dealing with this, it's very okay to open up to your fellow colleagues in the industry and ask them for their experience and their help. With Ernest, thank you for joining us and also sharing what you have shared. And I wanted to mention, if it wasn't for Datin Lorella who introduced Ernest to me, I wouldn't have come across Ernest as well. So sometimes we in our industry, we need to be open to reach out to our fellow colleagues and say, hey, let's be more inclusive. Do you know anyone? Can you introduce us, right? So we are all about networking as well. Okay, so there are a few more questions. We didn't get the time to do it, but I really want to keep to time, so we will end now. But before we end, I just wanted to say on behalf of my industry, thank you, Aveena and Ernest, and your parents who've been so supportive and accompanying you all to educate us on how to welcome you to this event. And I want to thank Penang Convention and Exhibition Bureau as well. I don't know whether it's right, but I'm just going to go out and say it. You know, Terry, Ashwin, Siti, Jessica, and their team have been so accommodative when we wanted to invite both of them. And in the spirit of equality as well, TSAP is providing both the speakers with a speaker fee. All right, speaker engagement fee. So I think it's very open-minded of a convention bureau to do this, and I just wanted to put it on record. Thank you, everyone.